Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess if you're new here, and I thought I would share with you guys some of the books that I'm planning on reading this summer. I've been trying to do a lot more like strategized TBRs, if that makes sense, like things that I'm hoping to get to or like kind of planning out a little bit more of what I'm reading, just because I feel like it's really fun to actually have like a list of books to constantly go to. I do allow myself room, obviously. So for example, within this range of books that I have set for myself, I still have plenty of room to add in other books just because I am still a mood reader at the end of the day. But I really feel like summertime I read a lot more romance and things like that, whereas in the wintertime I read a lot more like murder mysteries or like thrillers, those kinds of books. So of course I still read all of these different types of genres during any season really, but I do tend to again mood read, so that is typically the path that it follows. But I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the different books that they're planning on reading over this next couple of months during the summertime, and I know I have a few books even just on my shelf that I've been really wanting to get into. I never really felt like it was the right time, so I feel like finally, now that it's summer, I can get into it. So I thought I would share with you guys and just talk a little bit about each of the books that I'm planning on reading. I did make a list of 7 books that I'm hoping to get throughout the summertime. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of these books because some are more intriguing than others, but we're going to talk about it. So if you guys are new here though, please consider subscribing. I love to chat with you guys about the different things that you guys are reading, what's going on with your guys' weeks or weekends, and just like anything in between. So please consider subscribing. And if you guys are ever interested in following my reading journeys, all of my Goodreads or any other socials are in the like comment box thing, description box down below. So if you're ever interested, you can always check it out there. Anyway, getting back into it, the first book that I put on my list was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I believe this one came out in April, and I am a diehard, like, Emily Henry is an auto-buy author for me. She's somebody that I just love every single one of her books. I love her writing, and I can't believe that I haven't had the chance to get into this book yet. So I'm very excited to be reading Funny Story, and that is absolutely number one on my list. I feel like even if she released a romance novel in the middle of winter, I would still read it, but because she usually releases her books around like the spring and summertime, they're like my absolute favorite. So I'm very excited. I feel like her last few books also have like gone a little deeper into emotions and not just like surface level romance, which I really love. So I like that she plays around with like what the story is telling you. So very excited about Funny Story. I've heard that this one is basically about a girl and a guy, and the girl's ex-fiance and the guy's ex-girlfriend end up together, and so them two end up as roommates, and obviously it's a romance, so things happen from there, and it sounds really funny and really intriguing and just like kind of a weird plot to start with. So I am excited to see how that dynamic works. I wonder if they'll just like instantly be enemies. Like I don't really know what the dynamic is going to be, but I can imagine too that they're going to like have a lot of the same feelings. So I don't know. I'm very intrigued by what that is going to be like. So that's one that I am absolutely excited about. Another one that I'm wanting to read is 28 Summers by Ellen Hilderbrand. I actually have this one on my bookshelf right here. There's no dust jacket because this one is from a little free library, but I've had this for a while now. I actually picked this up from a little free library in like the winter time, I want to say, but I never actually read it because for whatever reason I just like couldn't really get into it. And again, I think it's because I'm a little bit of a mood reader. Basically, from what I understand, this one is about a woman and a man who meet up once every year during the summer. I think it's like around Labor Day or some kind of like major holiday, and they have an affair essentially, but it's like once every year, and it's like sort of like a planned affair, which sounds crazy. I don't know if throughout that time they're in other relationships or like what the history is with that, but it sounds really interesting. I also just feel like overall Ellen Hilderbrand's writing is very summery. It's always like some sort of Nantucket type scenery, so obviously just gives the summer vibes. So I'm very excited to be on the beach in one of Ellen Hilderbrand's books. I've only read one other of her books. I forgot what it's called. I think Golden Girls, and that one was really, really good. It was not at all what I was expecting, so I am excited about this one as well. The next one is Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter, I think is how you say her last name. This one, I also don't really know what it's about. It just feels like it gives the summer vibes. From what I understand, it's about a girl who has recently exited a relationship. I don't know if she was dumped or like she broke up with her boyfriend or like what the situation quite is. But she goes to this vacation and she does this vacation every single year with her family and they do this like big game. And there she also ends up meeting a guy. And so it's like the game plus a guy. And I'm assuming she like uses some of the game rules in order to flirt with him or something. I don't really know, but that's what I understand it to be. Obviously, a lot of these are just like summer beach romance, and like that's what I enjoy in the summertime. I don't know. I guess I'm a simple person. It just like sounds fun. So that's what that is. The next one I have on this list is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I just realized I actually have no clue what this one is about. I did read, I believe it's called Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I really liked it. I think basically Every Summer After and Love in Other Words are like almost identical novels, except based off of which one you read first, that's the one you tend to be more excited about or like a little bit more. So I read Every Summer After first and I really enjoyed it. I didn't really like Love in Other Words because there are certain pieces of like the characters that I didn't enjoy and like the way that it was written. So because I really liked Every Summer After, I actually never read Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I just heard really bad things about the book, so I just was never inspired to pick it up. Maybe I will this summer, but This Summer Will Be Different I've heard amazing things about. Again, I really liked Every Summer After, so I want to really give this one a shot. So that's another one on this book. I have no idea what it's about. So yeah, we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna see what happens. I am assuming there's gonna be a beach and it's gonna be during the summertime. And then the last one is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I also have no idea what this one is about, but I do know that there are 3 novels and they all are interconnected, like they're in the same world. I forget what they're called off the top of my head, but there's 3 books out of this series and you can read them separately as like standalone novels, or you can read them together in order. Because of the way that my brain works, I want to read them in order. I want to read a couple of the other, like the other 2 sound really interesting, but this one is the first one. So I think I'll start with this one. And then obviously if I have time throughout the summer, then I will read the others. I have heard amazing things. Again, a romance, and I know I'm going to love it. So I'm really excited. And then the last 2 I have on this list that are actually not at all summer related, but I do want to read them in the summer. The first one is the 3rd book in the Housemaid series. So basically the Housemaid series is about this girl. She becomes a housemaid for a really wealthy couple, but like everything is kind of going weird. Like the wife in this couple is acting so strange and like so chaotic. Like she kind of gaslights her throughout the whole process of working there. And then the husband is like super nice and like very friendly and very helpful to the housemaid. Slowly, the housemaid, I believe her name is Molly or Millie. I think it's Millie. There's a housemaid and then there's the maid. And the maid is Molly. The housemaid is Millie. There's so many books. So the housemaid is Millie, and Millie slowly like learns more about this couple and like learns more just like about why things are kind of weird. So it does go into like more of like a thriller type novel, just like all of Frida McFadden's books. The second one follows Millie again, as well as that same, not quite the same situation, but similar situation, I guess I'll say. And I have no idea what the third one is about, but I am absolutely going to read it because I love almost all of Frida McFadden's books. They're just amazing. So I'm very excited about that one. And then the last one is the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. And I've actually never read a Holly Jackson book. I really have been wanting to. There's a few others of hers that I really want to read, but I've heard really good things about the reappearance of Rachel Price. Basically, it's about this girl who grows up with her mom having disappeared. She has no idea what's going on with her or why she disappeared. And she ends up on, I believe, a true crime podcast. And then when she's on this podcast, it turns out that her mom is back and her mom is named Rachel Price. So you learn a little bit more as to like where she went and like why she disappeared and all of those things. So that's basically the story. That's the like very beginning, like that's part of the synopsis. So I have no idea where it takes you throughout that whole process, but it sounds really intriguing and I'm very excited about that one too. So those are the 7 books that I plan on reading. I'm gonna have to like make a list of them and like actually keep track because I feel like there are quite a few on my list. But I also know that I've lately been reading like 4 or 5 books per month. So I'm sure I can get through them all. It's just a matter of like which one I'm most intrigued by and like what other books come out or like what other books I hear about. So I am hoping to read at least like 5 out of those 7, but I am excited about a lot of these. So I'm curious to know what books you guys are planning on reading this summer. Do you guys tend to be more like mood readers like I am, where you read certain books based off of like the location you're in or like the season, or does it not really matter? Let me know in the comments below. I always love to hear from you guys. So that's all for today's video. I just wanted to again share with you guys what I'm doing this summer, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna have a reading vlog for you guys. I'm very excited about it. So I will see you guys on Friday. Bye guys.